Welcome back to Breezy Willow Acres. I'm Jay, and today's video is going to be another hodgepodge. I've got a lot going on this weekend. It is Saturday, and I'm just getting my day started. Take a look at the green stalk real quick. Got our chard, our tomatoes are coming up nicely, and our beans are really starting to pop. I think I've got a couple that might have some blight, but I'm going to take care of that at some point today. But everything's looking good with them. Lots of good things happening with the green stalk. Show you our planters, see what's going on. Not much has changed with the kale and the carrots. Carrots are starting to grow in a little bit. Hopefully we'll get some out of this before it gets too hot. Kale we keep picking. Missy just picked a whole bunch of kale and they're already coming back. Over here we've got our radishes and they're coming in very nicely. Plus our lone stray second planting carrots. I can't believe that's all we ended up with from the second planting, but it got really cold, so you know, what can you do? And then over here we've got our soybeans. Soybeans are looking really good. We've also got some mint coming up. This is mint we planted late last summer, and it managed to survive just barely the winter. So we'll see how things look with that. I also have little bitty elm trees starting to come up. The elm tree has started throwing out all of these little, let me see if I can get it on camera, all of these little seed pods, and they're all over the freaking place. I mean, just all over the place. I think they're elm. I'm not sure. I believe it is. I'll have to look it up. I'll have to take a picture of one of these and look it up. But whatever tree is throwing these out is throwing them out everywhere, of course, as trees do. But they're coming up in my planter beds, and I don't want that. Here we go. Here's a good example of that right there. These things are just crazy. So I'm going through here and picking them all out as I see them starting to sprout. It is just insane. Basically following the mantra of, if you go out to the garden, you pick some weeds. And they've also been showing up over here too, but I picked most of the ones I saw. Oh, got a lot more. My goodness. It is just insane. A couple more here. But I'm going to have to keep doing this every single day till I get them all. Because frankly, I don't want a tree growing in my vegetable planters. Hey, imagine that, right? So I got this green stalk all reset. The only thing I did to the oregano was actually trim it down. So we've got like a ton of oregano drying in the house right now. But we got this all reset, and I've got a bunch of different herbs in here. We've got... oh, what did I put in here? A whole bunch of different stuff. I can't even remember. If I remember to do it, I will put it in the description what different herbs I did plant. I know I've got peppermint and regular mint down on the bottom. We've got some thyme, some dill, and a couple of other things. It's kind of spread out. So going to be interesting to see what we get from that. So I'm also heading out to the main garden to water yesterday evening, and I didn't film it because, you know, I got some zucchini and squash seeds in the ground. We've got a regular yellow summer squash. We've got a gray zucchini, a regular green zucchini. Some of those yellow scallop zucchinis that are squash that some people plant, and also planted some cowpeas, tromboncino squash, and a winter squash. It's kind of spread out in the garden. I'm going to kind of walk you through where I planted it, and then I'm going to water and see how things are going. Obviously, we just planted those seeds yesterday, so there's not going to be anything coming up. But I will kind of walk you through what we got. So over here, got a little bit of garlic. This was kind of our garlic overflow. This was primarily kind of where we were trying to do some peppers, and we had some basil plants. I still got to get that other basil plant out. And then over here, I planted some onion right in this back corner here, right there. And then down the middle of our walkways, because our walkways are pretty big, I'm planning on taking the boxes out, so we're going to have more room. I'm just trying to give the garlic time, especially for the ones that are on the edges, before I pull that out. But I've got zucchini planted every 24 inches down the middle. And then I've got the scallop squash going down the back side over here. And then our regular yellow squash is right up through here. We've got some sunflowers coming up, which is pretty awesome. And everyone loves this word, volunteer. We have some sawtooth blackberries that are right along the pond up here. Well, we've got at least, let me get out of the sun, 2, and it looks like actually 3 coming up inside my garden area. So I'm going to let them grow this year. Obviously, we won't be getting any berries out of it because I think it's the second year that you pick the berries from it, but I got to look that up again. I'm not a berry expert, but we've got those coming up. Looks like 4. I missed this one yesterday. Haha. So we got 4 coming up over here. We also got some sunflower volunteers. We did have some sunflowers in this area of the bed, and so some of those are volunteering, which is awesome. And I think we've got one outside here coming up, so gonna let those grow. I might actually plant some cowpeas or something to go with it so that they can kind of vine up the sunflower stalks. And then along here, every 24 inches or so, I've got, what'd I put? We've got winter squash here in 2 spots, and then the tromboncino here in 3 spots. And I already had this trellis up. I didn't take it down. I had planned on taking it down because I wasn't going to do any trellising in this area. This was all going to be just our ground vegetables, but I got so much vining stuff going up at my dad's place in that garden that I decided just to put this here. And so we'll have that here. I've got a little bit of an extra spot for some other stuff if I want to put it. And then I'll plant some more ground. I might put onions over there. You know what? I need to clean it up, obviously, but I think I might put some onions over there. That would be a good place for them. And then I still got to figure out what I'm going to put in this middle section here. This is probably the widest section we have of our garden right now. And I'll just see. I did plant cowpeas, basically black-eyed peas, in the 4 corners, north, south, east, west, right on this pole. And then as they start growing, I'll just kind of tie them off to this and just let them grow up here. I figured, what the heck, we've got this with a light on it, might as well use it. So that's a quick tour of our garden as it stands right now. Predominantly, we're going to be having, of course, our garlic. You can see our garlic is just coming up amazingly right now. We've got some mushrooms coming up. I just noticed these coming up the other day. I do not know what type of mushrooms these are. Edible, not edible, ain't got a clue. I am not a mushroom person. If anybody knows, leave a note in the comments. I'd love to know if these are human, pet safe. If not, I'll let them grow, but they'll just stay there. I did notice when I was digging up the holes, and this garden is basically what they call a back to Eden garden. We're doing the mulching and letting it rejuvenate the soil all on its own. And this area was kind of a clay soil mix. Well, what I found out was, as I was digging in and starting to put my seeds, the soil right underneath is really already turned into a rich loam. It's beautiful. But I also found worms, and I'm talking some big worms. They're perfect for it. So they're already coming in here and making this soil even better. I plan on expanding this out a little bit more, maybe a little bit closer to the pond on that side, and then start heading this way. The sawmill is going to be moving down to the container, so I'll have all that area to grow. Can you tell I'm excited? I love this part. I love this. The garden's my thing, and the goats Misty's, although I love the goats. So here's where we started our little pumpkin patch this last fall, late summer. I'm going to be getting the tiller out. I'm going to till this whole area, and I have Dutch fork pie pumpkins from Heather at Sage and Stone Homestead. We're going to be planting them right here so they can just kind of run down the hill, and I hope we get a gorgeous, beautiful bunch of pumpkins out of that. And Heather, thank you so much for the pumpkin. So yep, we're going to do that right here, and then we'll see what else we're doing. But for today, I got to get to doing some watering, so I'm going to just put you up somewhere and keep the camera going. So we're using this electric netting that we got for the goats originally. It's 100 foot. It's not quite big enough to cover up our area. We got it from Premier One. We love this thing. We've had it for a year already. It's the Solar Stop 80 fence energizer with the 100 foot fence. I want to get another 100 foot just to give me some room to walk around and stuff if I'm in there. Not that I'm going to have it on when it's on, but as I expand the garden, I want to be able to expand it as well. But it's worked great. Had it on all winter. Even with all the bad storms and stuff, we haven't had any problems with it. Easy setup. Nothing but good things to say about it. So yep, got the areas I need to actually water right now done. I put a lot of extra water where the cowpeas are. I forgot to soak them before I put them in the ground, so I'm just trying to make sure they stay extra wet, soften up, and hopefully they'll sprout up. It was just a brain fart on my part, but you know what? It happens. All right, one chore down, a couple more to do. Next up is getting some stuff out of the truck. Missy's getting ready to muck out the barn and do the stuff with that. So she went and got some new straw for the outside barn areas for the boys and the girls, and we got a couple more things of the pine chips to put in with the chicks. To the hay barn. That's right, put this thing in high. I know it's hard to hear me, bear with me. hay barn. And I think I've shown this before, but this was actually a tree house the old owners of the house had put up. We actually just closed it in. We had some of this metal paneling from a defunct shed that we had, so we keep our hay in here till we're ready to pull it up to the main barn. We can get 2 stacks in here, so at most 20 bales of hay up here, and then we tend to store the straw down here, so I'm going to actually go ahead and get it stacked up down there until we're ready to use it. Hi. Hi, Scotch. Hi, Buddy. Hi, Teeny. Oh. Oh, yes. Ferocious. Ferocious babies. Now we're going to go ahead and move up to the gate for the main area. I have some cleaning up to do still, but I want you to get shots of the dogs. Sweet babies. All right. Watch out, Teeny. Oh, Bourbon, you act like you never get any love. So that's another chore down. Oh, are we having fun yet? Thing we're going to do real quick is get this stump out of the way. I used it to chop up the firewood in the winter, but frankly it's in the way now and I'm tired of it, so we're going to move it. Bingo! That was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Thank goodness. All right. Okay, one of our main projects for today is getting the tiller onto the tractor, which can kind of be a pain because it's so close up to the back of it. And then we're going to go till up the area for our pumpkin patch, and we're going to go till up the area that we're using at my mom and dad's for our trellised items. Peppers, some of the peppers, tomatoes, anything else, beans, peas, anything else we want to plant up there that's going to be a trellised item. So we're going to work on this real quick, and then we'll be right back. Okay, I got this beast attached. The worst part, and I'll show you, you can see how close this is to the back. Getting the 3-point is actually easy. It's getting the PTO shaft attached. That's the bear. You can't do it with it on the ground because it's just too tight. You actually have to lift it all the way up and get it onto the PTO and get it locked. But once it's there, it runs great. It's a Titan attachment. I used it last year to do a few areas, particularly that pumpkin patch area. I like it. It's very simple. It's just a blade type. We're not going too deep. This is set at, I believe, 3 inches. So we're not trying to dig up a lot of ground. We're just trying to get it to churn over. And then once that's done, I won't ever touch that area again unless it gets completely overgrown with weeds and stuff. I don't like to till up a lot, but this makes it a lot easier to do larger areas and get it prepped. But I'm trying not to kill off all the worms and all the other stuff, so this is kind of the best low impact item I could get. So this is our freshly tilled area, and I'll rake this up a little bit, get the seeds in, and then I've got some wood mulch that I'm going to put over the top of it as a weed barrier, and we should be good to go. This will be a nice long area for our pumpkins, and they'll kind of grow. Hopefully they'll grow down the hill. I'll kind of train them that way, but this will be a nice little area to start our little pumpkin patch. That soil's actually looking pretty good. I like it. So thanks for joining us on our hodgepodge video. I got a lot done that day. My day didn't stop at this point. We've got a lot going on. Once I got the area tilled up with the where we're going to put the pumpkins, I went ahead and started working on the garden up at my parents' place, and we got that done. That footage is going to be in our next video, so stay tuned for that. If you would, like and subscribe, leave some comments. I hope y'all are enjoying these types of videos. There's gonna be a lot more of these coming. I'm also gonna hopefully get back into the workshop and start working on some woodworking projects, so we'll get that coming too. We still have goats available. If anyone's interested, you can visit visit our Facebook page, Breezy Willow Acres. You can also just email us at breezy.willow.acres@gmail.com, and we will reach out to you and start a conversation about our goats. Anything else, you can still reach out to us. Thank you for joining us, and y'all have a great day.